Happening now, we are one step closer to knowing who will be Jamestown's next police chief. Plus, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in downtown Jamestown.
And today is the last day of the warmth. We have another potential record breaker today. Then we get into some rain. Then we cool off again. I'll tell you about it all in detail next. The News at Noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. The search for Jamestown's next police chief may soon come to an end, as the city's mayor has narrowed down the search to 3 candidates. Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist tells us he hopes to finalize a potential offer to one of the 3 by November's City Council voting session, with a public announcement coming either later this week or early next. The mayor says the final 3, which out of respect for the candidates will not be publicly announced at the moment, are made up of both internal and external applicants. Now, Sundquist says he is looking for a person who's community-oriented and able to address tough questions, like what should policing look like in Jamestown?
All 3 are very driven individuals. They really want to make the community better. Each one has had years of experience working with a police department. But more importantly, the top attribute that I'm looking for in a police chief is someone that's willing to adapt and change as the needs of a community change.
The mayor says he wants the candidate to be able to understand community policing efforts and be able to make changes within the department for the benefit of the city at whole. Now, additionally, the mayor says he wants to appoint a chief that would advocate for more wraparound services like mental health outreach and domestic violence prevention. Sundquist has been working with the Police Chief Recommendation Committee on finding a good candidate for the job after Police Chief Harry Snellings retired in July. Now, in the meantime, Jamestown Police Lieutenant Timothy Jackson is serving as interim chief. Sundquist says Jackson was among applicants, but didn't say if he was among the final 3. He says several members of the Jamestown Police Department have applied for the position. Well, a student at Jamestown's Bush Elementary School has tested positive for COVID-19. The Jamestown Public School District says the students last attended school yesterday. The school says they are working closely with the Chautauqua County Health Department to complete a contact tracing investigation, so any close contacts of the sick student would be notified. The district would like parents to know that a confirmed case doesn't mean other children have been exposed to the student who tested positive. School leaders say if your child has symptoms of COVID-19, like cough, difficulty breathing, loss of taste or smell, significant diarrhea, sore throat, or a fever greater than 100 degrees, to contact your healthcare provider and notify the school. Now, 4 new cases of COVID-19 were reported by the Chautauqua County Health Department yesterday, that in addition to 18 from over the past weekend. Health officials say there are now 93 active cases with 21 people hospitalized. Well, President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris say they're moving the COVID-19 pandemic response in a new direction. Among their high priorities is more testing and contact tracing nationwide. This comes just after more than 10 million cases are confirmed in the U.S., according to Johns Hopkins University. John Lawrence has more.
The United States has yet to turn the corner on COVID-19. But
help is on the way with a vaccine. It's more than 90% effective, which is extraordinary and will play a major role in what the outcome of this is going to be.
Pfizer says that rate is based on early research done on more than 43,000 study participants and could change.
I think that likely, based on impact, that will be the greatest medical advance in the last 100 years. If you think about it, right?
The drug maker says it hopes to be able to seek emergency use authorization from the Food and Drug Administration before the end of the month.
It is extraordinary that it's coming at a time that the world needs it the most.
There have been more than 10 million known cases in the U.S., according to Johns Hopkins University. And despite the progress toward an effective vaccine, medical experts say people still need to be vigilant.
There is a long road between actually getting the vaccine approved and getting it distributed to hundreds of millions of Americans. And so we really have to keep up our guard in the meantime.
Another sign of advancement, the FDA approves Eli Lilly's coronavirus treatment for emergency use. This after research found the antibody appears to treat mild and moderate infections. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. The U.S. averaged nearly 109,000 new COVID cases per day last week. That according to Johns Hopkins University, which set a new record. Well, the first major sign of the holiday season is now in place in downtown Jamestown. Officials with the city's Parks, Recreation, and Conservation Department harvested and installed this year's Christmas tree yesterday morning. The tree, donated by the Macurzo family, is a 40-foot-tall white spruce that was collected from their residence on Cole Avenue. Now, once the spruce was transported to City Hall, a BPU crane lifted and harvested the tree in place while it was secured for decorating with nearly 4,000 energy-saving LED light bulbs. Officials say the ceremonial lighting of the tree will be announced at a later date. Certainly, what a great-looking tree there in downtown Jamestown, and another sign that Christmas is almost here. Thanks so much for joining us for WNY News Now on this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday. We'll get a check of your First Defense weather forecast in just a moment. But first, great to see TR. Thanks so much for joining us. Good to see Brian, Jonathan, Jenna, Sandy, Wendy, Charlie, and Laura. Hopefully everyone is having a great day. It looks like TR says I sound like a robot. It seems very static. We'll see if we can't get my microphone fixed here in the next couple of moments. But Dakota, it's one of the perks from working from home, I guess, is that you get a pretty cool robot voice.
Yeah, exactly. Like Stark Robot in Fortnite, the Stark Robot that does Stark Industries. I've gotten eliminated by Stark Robot numerous times, so I totally understand. But yeah, even though the Christmas tree at City Hall has gone up, it is not looking like the holidays out there. Let's take a live look at Findlay Lake. And boy, oh boy, the sunshine is out there, 70 degrees. Can you believe this? We are at November 10th. We should not be this warm, folks. So make sure you enjoy it as well. But hey, yesterday we broke a record high. Our forecast, our observed high temperature yesterday was 72. That broke the old record of 71 set in 2009. And we're likely going to have another one come today. It is going to be very warm out there. Satellite and radar shows you nothing but just a few high clouds. That's it. It's going to be another fantastic day out there. 70 here in town right now, 68 Mayville, 76 Fredonia, 79 already in Dunkirk, 77 in Erie, 72 Randolph, and nothing at Olean. The weather observation site at the Olean Airport is down for maintenance. So through the afternoon today, we have one more day of sun. Enjoy it. Another record breaker possible, and along with a nice breeze, 70 to 78 with a south wind averaging 10 to 15 miles per hour. But we do bring in a little bit of rain overnight and then through the day tomorrow, and I'll tell you about it all in detail in just a few. Justin, back to you.
Alrighty, Dakota, thank you very much. Hopefully this is better audio-wise. There's still no specific date for when the rollout of cashless tolling in the New York State Thruway will start. However, as Corina Campabianca explains, the state's Thruway Authority still plans on doing it sometime in the month of November.
Thruway Authority Executive Director Matthew Driscoll says 70 gantries have been installed at 58 locations across the state.
On those gantries are a series of equipment, cameras, laser beams, treadles embedded in the road. All of those have a separate function in terms of measuring the height of a vehicle, counting the axles of a vehicle, taking pictures of the license plates and so forth. So each element of those gantries is tested individually and then as a whole.
Governor Cuomo announced the project in 2018. Officials say it will reduce congestion along its 570-mile transportation system. They're urging anyone who does not yet have an Easy Pass to get one soon to save time and money.
It'll afford you the ability to not receive a bill in the mail. And again, it's just really the most efficient, effective, and cost-effective way to travel. So I would really urge motorists to get an Easy Pass.
They're also urging those with peeling plates to get them replaced for free through the DMV.
As far as the Thruway Authority and our ability to take pictures of any plates, including those that are peeling, these cameras on this new system have the highest and best resolution anywhere. So we don't see that as an issue. We've been testing already. We've not spotted any issues. So I don't think it's an issue at all for the Thruway Authority.
After cashless tolling goes live, toll booths will begin to be removed, but that's not expected to be completed until late summer of 2021. In Albany, Karina Capabianca.
Thank you. The group's Cashless Toll Constructors LLC was awarded the design build for the contract with the state, with work that started last fall. Well, New York State Police say a scam call targeting grandparents is back, and they want to make sure your relatives don't become victim. Troopers say some of the frustrated fraudulent calls are claiming to be a family member with an illness, and that the scammer will push for you to help without trying to contact anyone else first. Now, others claim to be law enforcement, saying that your loved one is under arrest and demanding bail. Police want people to know that they don't call family members asking for bail. If you receive a call you believe is scam, police say, resist the urge to act immediately, no matter how dramatic their story is. Verify the caller's identity. Be sure to ask questions that the stranger couldn't answer without checking with a family member. And police say don't send cash, gift cards, or money transfers. Once the scammer gets it, it's gone. If you have a parent or elderly person in the family, police say talk to them to explain this scam a little more. Well, straight ahead, here's Chautauqua County's latest effort to stop the spread of COVID-19. And later, some good news for some high school winter athletes. We'll tell you about it as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. New York is trying to contain the steadily increasing spread of COVID-19 in parts of western and central New York, with new restrictions on dining and gathering and mandatory testing requirements in schools. Governor Andrew Cuomo announced yesterday he's designating part of Erie, Monroe, and Onondaga counties, home to Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse, as yellow zones, where gatherings are now capped at 25 people and restaurants may not have more than 4 people at a table. Schools in yellow zones must also do more mandatory virus testing of students under Cuomo's hotspot plan, which he launched last month.
Now, New York, we're different than other states because we do more testing and we're more aggressive in both our remediation efforts, and we're more aggressive in our goal setting. From my point of view, be more aggressive just allows you a buffer. But ideally, you'd want to see no one sick. So I think you can't be aggressive enough.
The state averaged nearly 3,000 new infections per day during the past 7 days. That's up 83% in 2 weeks' time. Well, the Chautauqua County Health Department says that 7 cases of COVID-19 reported over the weekend are linked to a social outing at the Fredonia Beaver Club. County Public Health Director Christine Schuyler tells us Fredonia Beaver Club closed their doors on Saturday for 2 weeks to deep clean and ensure appropriate precaution measures are in place. She says anyone who frequented the club in the last 2 weeks should be extra vigilant with social distancing, mask wearing, and hand washing, and should contact their healthcare provider if they develop COVID symptoms. Those who test positive for the virus are ordered into mandatory isolation, and anyone named as a close contact of someone who tests positive is also ordered into mandatory quarantine. Now, in an effort to control the spread of COVID-19 and related clusters there in the North County, a free rapid COVID tested clinic will take place this Thursday from 9 to 2 at the Murphy Training Grounds. The quickest way to get an appointment for that testing is to fill out the form at the New York State Health Department's website. We have a link to that at our site, WNYNewsNow.com. Well, President-elect Joe Biden laid out his plans to help combat coronavirus during some remarks yesterday. His transition team is pressing forward, while President Trump has yet to concede the race. Camila Burnell has the latest on the 2020 election.
President-elect Joe Biden turning his attention to the worsening coronavirus pandemic.
I will spare no effort to turn this pandemic around.
Biden assembled the members of his new COVID advisory board, looking to create a stronger, unified response.
This group will advise on detailed plans built on a bedrock of science and to keep compassion, empathy, and care for every American at its core.
President Trump is refusing to concede the race, mounting several legal challenges and calling for recounts in a handful of states. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell appearing to back the president's play from Capitol Hill.
In the United States of America, all legal ballots must be counted. Any illegal ballots must not be counted.
And while Biden is ready to move forward,
this election is over.
The ongoing battle is creating real obstacles as they wait for a critical step in the transition called ascertainment. It would release the funds Biden's team needs to get to work, but requires the signature of the General Services Administrator, a Trump appointee.
It's time to put aside the partisanship and the rhetoric that designed to demonize one another.
In Washington, I'm Camila Burnell.
Camila, thank you for your reporting. Officials say all work on the presidential transition is currently on hold in the White House, and that it will be unlikely to not get underway until the president concedes or the government officially declares that Biden is the winner. We'll certainly stay tuned for that. Well, New York State's Public High School Athletic Association has announced that low and moderate risk winter sports can soon resume play. Low and moderate risk winter sports include things like bowling, gymnastics, indoor track and field, skiing, and swimming and diving. The Athletic Association says those sports can start play as soon as November 30th. However, activities deemed high risk have not yet been given the green light. The group says they will continue to examine their feasibility, although authorization from state officials is needed before they can move forward. And certainly that's great news for a lot of athletes in the community who are ready to get back to some sort of normalcy, although it still seems like even with all that is happening, that it's so going to take some time. Even with the exciting news of the vaccine yesterday, it's like in order to get that fully rolled out for everyone to get back, that's the waiting game we're in right now. So we thank you for joining us here for WNY News Now. Great to see Tony. Good to see Debbie, Lynn, Wendy. Happy Tuesday to you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Great to see Patty, Rob, and Linda as well. Let us know what you guys are doing and thinking about in the comments below. We always love to hear it. And Dakota, I think one of the biggest things that people are probably going to be talking about today is the fact that it's super, super nice out there weather-wise today. And it almost doesn't feel like it should be fall.
I know. I mean, it feels more like what? June?
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, toward the end of May going into early June. I mean, that's kind of like what it feels like. But, it's not necessarily like summer because it's not humid. I mean,
right.
The dew points are relatively low. So it's almost sort of dry air. It's not exactly dry, but it is relatively low. So you don't feel a stick in the air. But boy, it is nice out there. Let's go in there and take a look at it. And today could be another record buster. Take a look at this. We are forecasting 73 for our high today. If we hit that, that'll break the record of 72 set in 1999. And we're forecasting 63 for tomorrow. The record high for tomorrow is 69. I don't think we'll break that. But again, we just put that in there for reference for you. But yeah, it is warm out there. The DoubleTree camera shows you lots of sunshine out there. 70 as a noon hour with a south wind at 12, a nice little healthy breeze. That southerly wind component is always going to be the key to help warm you up. So that's the reason why we're warm today, that nice southerly wind component. The satellite and radar composite, we do have a cold front that is off to our west. Notice those 3 areas of low pressure attached to that front. That is going to be moving through overnight tonight and then through the day tomorrow. So there will be some rain showers coming our way tomorrow. Let's show that to you here on Future Scan. Newest run of the computer modeling shows you absolutely nothing through the day. It's going to be fantastic. Maybe just a few high clouds. That's it. Now, as we get into tonight, this is by about 5, 6 o'clock. By early tomorrow morning, we could see a few rain showers come in. Overnight should be dry, and the best chance of rain tomorrow is going to be early in the morning and the early afternoon. All this rain will start to clear out as the front passes through. Temperatures tomorrow are actually going the opposite direction. Our highs tomorrow are going to be in the early morning hours. Then we're going to actually slide all the way through the 50s. By the afternoon hours. So temperatures are going to be cooler in the afternoon. Tropical storm Eta down here in the Gulf of Mexico, it is not moving anywhere. It is near stationary, 60-mile-per-hour winds with 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Here's the forecast track from the National Hurricane Center. The track on this is still unknown past the next 3 or 4 days. This could come back up into the Gulf of Mexico near the Florida-Alabama Gulf Coast. This is something we're going to keep an eye on over the next couple of days, but no threat to the northeast or no threat to us here over the next few days. So MetroCast 74 at 2 o'clock. Lots of sunshine. Fantastic. Get out and enjoy it as we go to 6 o'clock. Yeah, the sun's already going to be set by 6 o'clock. Mainly clear, 65 degrees. Now, as we go into 10 o'clock, we still should be mainly clear, 61 degrees. The rain is not going to come until after midnight. Now, you've been waiting for it. The next 7 days of your life, powered by 42 degrees and sunny. 63s are high tomorrow. That's early in the day. We'll likely end the day probably around 52. And then 49 on Thursday. Lots of sunshine. Seasonable on Friday, 51. 45 on Saturday. That's a chilly day, but at least the sun will be out. And then Sunday and Monday with a chance for a few scattered rain showers at times with temperatures in the lower 50s to upper 40s. We will take a break and be right back. So don't touch that dial.
First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smokin' deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
Slow down. Slow down and move over. Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights. Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down. Slow down and move over. When you need help,
It's our job
to help you.
to save you.
Despite the danger.
This danger
is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Not tomorrow, but right now on the WNY News Now mobile app. Follow local news as it happens.
The mother of a special education student at Maple Grove High School is speaking out.
And stay informed with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network.
And Lake Erie is covered in less than 1% of ice as this winter season has entered its peak.
Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. Get your frosting fix because today is a delicious holiday, National Vanilla Cupcake Day. Here's a fun fact. The cupcake was originally known as the 1, 2, 3, 4 cake, as simple as to remember the recipe. 1 cup of butter, 2 cups of sugar, 3 cups of flour, and 4 eggs. Now in the 19th century, most cupcakes were either vanilla or chocolate. The small cakes have since evolved, and you can get just about any flavor of cupcake now. In 2011, the Guinness World Record said the world's largest cupcake weighed more than 2,000 pounds and 36 inches tall, with chocolate often getting all the attention. On Tuesday, we're celebrating vanilla, so you can switch to your other flavors on December 15th for National Cupcake Day. Gotta know it's good when there's a cupcake dedicated just to good old vanilla, which is my favorite flavor of anything. I love vanilla cupcakes, I love vanilla milkshakes. Can't taste right now, but hopefully soon it will be getting back. Let us know what you're thinking about in the comments below. And also, Dakota, you can share your favorite cupcake picks with the hashtag Vanilla Cupcake Day.
Well, I mean, I like vanilla, but I got to be honest. Chocolate is my favorite. It always has been. I'm a chocolate kind of guy. But, you know, as I told you a few weeks ago, chocolate is good. It releases endorphins. It makes you feel good.
Yeah,
the problem is if you eat enough chocolate, it makes your hair fall out. So moderation is the key when it comes to chocolate.
I think that's what they say.
I used to have a full head of hair up here, okay? I used to have an afro, and now look at me.
Really? I gotta dig out those pics. Mama Hunter, if you're watching this, tweet me some pictures because we'll do it tomorrow. Tell her Bonnie, if you can hear this, text me some pics. I know you'll watch it because we will show those on the show tomorrow. That would be great.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of which, since we have a couple of minutes here, is anybody going to buy the new Xbox Series S or the new Xbox Series X today?
I'm a PlayStation guy. I'm sorry. And you know what? I've never been into buying new generation games. I know you're an Xbox dude. It's probably what you're doing right before the show. That's what you do. Is that what you do during the break? Is you hop on the Xbox and
yeah. Actually, you just can't see it back here, but you see that monitor right there? Yeah. It's blacked out. But during that last commercial break,
you were on there
around to Fortnite,
playing around.
So. Fortnite's my favorite game, by the way, if you haven't figured that out.
Yeah, if you add Dakota on there. Search him up.
Dakota Playa is my name. Kotapla. Wait a minute.
I love it.
K-O-T-A, Coda, then Playa, Playa.
Real quick.
My name on Fortnite and also on the Xbox Live as well.
Real quick before we go, Dakota.
Yes.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you mind sharing your good news that you got this morning?
Yes, absolutely. Many of you know that, as most of you know by now, we are all working remote because Justin tested positive for COVID-19.
Recovering very well.
Yes.
Thank you.
So Justin
no taste
is currently,
yet, but
yes,
getting there. We're getting there.
And I have been placed in mandatory quarantine since Friday. And I also went and had a test done on Friday just to verify my status. And this morning I got the good news. My test came back negative. So I do not, so I do not have COVID-19. So that is a good sign.
I love it.
I still feel bad that Justin and his girlfriend are going through it, but it's kind of like a relieving thing to know that you don't have it, and so I can't wait to get back into the studio after my quarantine ends.
Yeah,
next
so
week.
hopefully next week we can get back together, socially distant, mask all that we had, and I think that's what goes to show it. I was talking to Matt about this morning. He's actually back in today. He's tested negative as well. He's the only one in there today working from his desk. And we've had it cleaned and whatnot. But it just goes to show you that the precautions do actually work. I know people are skeptical of it, but I wore my mask the 2 days that I would have been contagious while I was in the newsroom. And thank God at this point we're still waiting on one test, so I don't want to speak too soon. Right. But everyone that I've come in contact with so far has tested negative. So I think that's the thing, is wearing the mask does work. And cleaning, hand sanitizing, social distancing. It's a staple of it. Is the fact that, Dakota, you as far as we know, you had some symptoms, but seemed like your allergies mainly, but you tested negative. And that's the thing. And it's like, for people out there in the community, if you take anything away from this, as a news reporter, I'm reporting to you that it does work. And it's the thing. And hopefully by Friday I'll be clear and good to go. And as long as I don't have a fever, which I don't now, and aren't presenting symptoms.
And I mean, the one thing I talked about in our group chat, because for those that don't know, we're all in a group chat together.
Yeah, we message often.
And the one thing I talked about before is looking down the road when we all have kids and whatnot. We all have stories, and this is something that I don't think a lot of other generations had, is the ability for us to look back on it for when we all have kids, we can go, I lived through the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020. This is what the test was like. This is what quarantine was like. And I had COVID, for the people who had it. And they can tell these stories about their children and whatnot about kind of what this was like. So, I think there's going to be a lot of interesting stories that'll come out of this. And who knows, maybe we'll see some books written about the COVID-19 pandemic.
Certainly will. And the thing is, with all that we've been through, I think that's the positive note, is that we will get through this, all of us together. And I'm grateful for you, Dakota, and for all of our team, my girlfriend, and a lot of people have, we've seen the numbers, who have passed away from it. But I think at the end of the day, it's like, we work together, and just like anything else in our great American history, we'll conquer this and we'll get through this together. And that's one of the biggest things that I'm really, really grateful for. So stay tuned, folks, because we'll be back here tomorrow, still telling you the local news, no matter what. Technology is great. Let it work.
When it works.
Yeah. All right, that's it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNY News Now. Now, Tom will leave you with a shot over Chautauqua Lake. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.